Andy. So I'm doing good, and one of the best conversations I've had today was with you when you told me about how well you're doing, and I think that's really powerful and really important. You know, you've been doing this for a few months now, maybe a little bit longer.
About 18 months.
And you're starting to get some traction. You know, you're out there a lot. I see you all the time, and lots of people are watching the show and talking about it, and you're starting to sell some advertising. I think what's interesting about it is that you've made a commitment to what you're doing, and you've gone out and you put your nose to the grindstone, you've started to build a business. I actually think that's the most interesting story that I've heard here today, so I'd like to ask you to tell people about that.
Yeah, well, I tell you, Fred, it's very much akin to sharing a party or sharing a conference or sort of sharing what I'd like to say my access with people or my familiarity with people and being generous. I know that sounds funny, but there is a certain amount of turning people on with useful information. That's really what the internet's about. I'm not, into entertaining, and I'm just into sort of providing valuable information that empowers people to do their work better or to know what the heck's happening. And I'm not a technologist. I'm sort of stumbled into this thing, to be honest, and I kind of try to educate myself and not sound like an idiot. But I think the platform or the environment is very much about bringing the experience of what a person is about, their intellect, their emotions, and their view through video, through a close-up kind of presentation, and not fancy and not overly edited. And it's almost akin to creating a virtual conference. You know, we're here in San Francisco at this amazing conference, but a lot of people can't be here. I also believe that the idea of a streaming panel on a TV set, on a video, is not great.
Right.
And that smaller, well-distilled, edited pieces, are valuable.
Right.
And I think that people want to consume and want to learn. And in the business space, people want to consume video that way now.
Yeah. One of the things that you told me today that I thought was interesting is that you've had enough success, with your coverage of the online video industry, as it were, that you're also starting to look into other categories and really to kind of take this model to other places. And to the extent you're comfortable talking about that, I think that's something that would also be really great for people to know about.
Yeah, well, I think the first thing is for me, I have to do stuff that I understand or I have an emotional or intellectual connection with. And medicine, I happen to, because my wife's a physician and involved with women's health, and I know a lot of physicians in New York. So we've started a medical channel, which I think, again, will be very empowering to have the access to top surgeons, top oncologists who have a candid discussion about what to do when you're diagnosed and sort of what genetic testing means in a sort of a lay way to create medical information like that's really, really important. The other thing that's, I think, important as a content producer of content that will be relevant over the long term is producing content that is not necessarily dated.
Right. And
I think having medical advice could be very good. So the medical area is definitely an area. I also had a conversation with the founder of Yumi, who said that
with
Jayan, yeah, great guy, yeah. And he just made a point that high CPMs can be gathered by audiences of women. Yes. So I think that's pretty awesome. So a medical channel about women's health could be very empowering and also a successful business proposition, I hope.